Imagine standing on the brink of a cliff, where a single step could plunge an entire region into chaos. Recent tensions between Iran and its proxies versus the US and Israel have sparked fears of an escalated conflict that could have global impact. Look at it like a giant chess game, with the countries Iran, the US, and Israel playing. But there's more than just pieces on a board at risk here. The whole world is watching, waiting to see what will happen next. What's at stake? Nothing less than global peace and security. The Middle East, a tapestry of ancient civilizations, has long been a geopolitical hotspot, thanks to its strategic location and vast oil reserves. This region, known for its history and riches and cultural legacy, is now the stage for a high-stakes drama that could influence the course of global politics. At the core of this unfolding narrative is Iran, a nation with a civilization that dates back to the dawn of history, now engaged in a complex ballet of power with the United States and Israel. This isn't just about regional dominance. It's a saga of ambition, defiance, and the quest for a place on the world stage. Iran's move to accelerate the uranium enrichment activities, pushing beyond the limits set by the 2015 Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, raises pressing questions. What drives Iran's nuclear ambitions? Is this a strategic maneuver in a geopolitical chess game, or a gambit for greater leverage on the international scene? Keep watching to find out.
Tehran has been producing more highly enriched uranium since late November, reversing a months-long slowdown.
This provocative action by Iran is not merely a breach of an international agreement. It's a statement, a challenge to the status quo that has governed international relations in the region. The JCPOA, hailed as a landmark agreement, aimed to curb Iran's nuclear capabilities in exchange for lifting economic sanctions. However, with the boundaries now crossed, the world watches with bated breath, pondering Iran's intentions. Is it a pursuit of security, a deterrent against perceived threats, or a bold attempt to shift the power dynamics in its favor? If you want to find out, make sure to subscribe. We can help you shift the world power dynamics anytime. Subscribe now. Let's keep going. The response from the West, led by the US and Israel, is a mix of diplomacy and deterrence, reflecting the high stakes involved. The US, historically a guardian of the post-World War II international order, and Israel, a regional power with existential concerns, are at a crossroads. How they navigate this challenge could redefine alliances, reshape regional politics, and potentially ignite or prevent a conflict with far-reaching consequences. Within this geopolitical tension lies a deeper narrative about identity, sovereignty, and the struggle for recognition. Iran's actions can be seen as part of a broader quest for respect and a more significant role on the world stage, challenging a system that has often seen it as an outsider. At the same time, the US and Israel grapple with their own strategic priorities, seeking to maintain stability and prevent the emergence of a nuclear-armed state that could threaten the fragile balance of power. As this saga unfolds, the international community finds itself at a historical juncture, facing questions that touch on themes of trust, security, and the potential for a new kind of diplomacy. The path forward is fraught with uncertainty and risks, but also possibilities for a reimagined Middle Eastern order that honors the region's rich heritage while embracing the realities of the 21st century. But here's where the story gets even more intense, and you don't want to miss this. The US and Israel aren't just watching from the sidelines, they're actively involved, responding with precision and strategy. Each move they make, whether in defense or offense, ramps up the tension even more. We're seeing cyber attacks that disrupt and destabilize, military maneuvers that remain shrouded in secrecy, and the constant shadow of unseen threats.
My interest is to make sure that Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons.
And your pursuit of nuclear weapons? Stop testing and proliferating ballistic missiles?
This isn't merely a struggle for power or dominance. It's a fight for survival, where every action could tip the balance. Now, let's take a moment to think about the consequences of this escalating tension. Imagine, for a moment, the fuse is lit, and this powder keg of geopolitical tension explodes. We're not just facing the prospect of higher oil prices or a local bar fight. The consequences could fundamentally adjust the geopolitical landscape, affecting economies, societies, and the very fabric of international relations. Insane, right? The question becomes, can the world's peacekeepers step in to avert a full-scale disaster? What do you think? Can they? The role of regional powerhouses like Saudi Arabia and the UAE becomes critical at this juncture. Will they give their voices to calls for peace, seeking to de-escalate the situation? Or could their involvement add layers of complexity to an already hard situation? Their decisions could be the key to either unlocking a path towards peace or further moving the region in the web of conflict. Mitigating factors and diplomacy. Despite the situation looking tough, there are real efforts to calm things down. People from different countries are meeting to talk about how to solve the problems with nuclear weapons and secret fights. They want to make things better and stop the fighting. But it's not easy. There's a lot of mistrust because of all the years of trouble and fighting, making it hard for everyone to agree. Plus, every country has its own wishes and problems, which makes these talks even more complicated. These talks are like a small light of hope. If they work, they could lead to peace. But there are many challenges to overcome, like not trusting each other and different countries wanting different things. The big question is, can these talks really lead to peace in the Middle East? Or are the old fights and problems too big to fix? Everyone is watching and hoping that these efforts will lead to a better future. The choice is between finding a peaceful way forward or continuing the cycle of fighting. The effort to find peace is a tough journey, but it's very important because the risk of more fighting is something everyone wants to avoid. Future speculations. After exploring the tangled situation and all the careful talks happening right now, we can't help but ask ourselves, what if something completely unexpected happens next?
When we make peace between Saudi Arabia and Israel, the whole Middle East changes.
Think about a surprising team-up between Saudi Arabia and Israel, both worried about how strong Iran is getting. This unusual team could really shake things up in the Middle East, either making things a lot more stable or starting new troubles. As we stand at this turning point, we're left wondering, could this unexpected partnership lead to real lasting peace, or might it just cause more problems than it solves? Let's break this down a bit. What if these two countries, which haven't been close before, decide to work together because they're both nervous about Iran? This could change a lot of things in the area, maybe making it more peaceful, or maybe leading to new arguments and fights. As we think about this big what if, we also have to think about how everyone else in the area and the big countries around the world would react. How would Iran feel about this? What would other nearby countries do? And how would big countries like the United States and Russia deal with this new situation? This chance for countries that usually don't get along to start working together could be a big step toward everyone getting along better. But getting to that point could be really tricky and might bring up new challenges. So here we are, wondering about the future. This surprising team-up between Saudi Arabia and Israel could be a chance for a better, more peaceful Middle East. But it's not guaranteed. The choices that leaders make now and how the whole world responds will shape the future of the Middle East. The possibility of making things better is there, but so are the risks of making things worse. It's a big moment, full of hope and caution. As we've seen, the Middle East stands at a crossroads between further escalation and the pursuit of diplomacy. The stakes could not be higher, with the potential to affect every corner of the globe. Will cooler heads prevail, or are we edging toward a conflict that could reshape the region and beyond? Right now, you will see a new video pop up right on the screen. I suggest you start watching it now. It is a valuable video that you will really like. Watch it for at least 3 minutes and give it a fair chance. Thank you very much.